That notification, it pops up and your heart skips a beat. Jane Doe watched your story. Again, she's the first one every single time. Maybe she liked a photo from 2 weeks ago at 2 a.m. Maybe you heard from a mutual friend that she casually asked how you were doing. She is a persistent, undeniable ghost in your digital machine, constantly watching, constantly present in the periphery, yet utterly, deafeningly, maddeningly silent in your inbox. You're left wondering, what does this mean? Does she miss me? Does she want me back? And that dangerous, seductive flicker of hope starts to ignite. But what if I told you that her watching you is often not the green light you so desperately think it is? What if I told you it's a complex psychological act of ego maintenance, of regret auditing, or of maintaining a subtle, powerful, almost cruel hold over your emotional state? Today, we are ending the confusion. We are dragging this ghost orbiter phenomenon out of the shadows and dissecting it with brutal psychological precision. I'm exposing the 3 core reasons why she's still watching your every move but will never, ever reach out first. Understanding these truths will save you from months of false hope, from emotional purgatory, and it will give you the power to finally, truly move forward and reclaim your peace of mind. And pay close attention, because the 3rd reason is a sophisticated power play that most men never, ever see coming. This is the intel you need. Before we get into the 3 specific reasons, you must first understand the core psychological concept at play here. I call it the psychological tether. When a connection has had any level of emotional significance, a short but intense fling, a long-term relationship, even a powerful crush, a psychological tether is formed between you two. Even after a breakup or a falling out, that tether doesn't just snap clean. It lingers, it stretches, it remains. Her act of watching your stories, of liking your posts, is her subconsciously, or sometimes very consciously, pulling on that tether. It is a low-cost, zero vulnerability, zero risk way for her to feel that lingering connection, to monitor what's happening on the other end of the line, without having to risk a real conversation, without having to face the consequences of her decision to leave or the potential for your rejection now. And this brings us to the most important framework for this entire video. She is giving you attention, but it does not, I repeat, does not automatically mean she has intention. Your job as a man of perception and power is to understand the true motive behind her low-cost attention. Is it a genuine sign of hope and a desire to return? Or is it a sign of her own unresolved issues, her ego, and her desire to keep you emotionally tethered? Let's find out. Reason number 1, the ego and comfort check. You are her baseline. The psychology. This is the most common, the most selfish, and often the most painful reason for you to accept. In this scenario, you are her emotional comfort blanket and her ego-boosting baseline. By watching you, she is subconsciously and sometimes consciously checking a few critical things to make herself feel better. Am I doing better than he is? If she sees you looking miserable, lonely, or not moving on, it powerfully validates her decision to leave. It soothes her own guilt and makes her feel like she won the breakup. Is he still available as an option? Knowing that you're still single and, more importantly, that you're still paying attention to her watching you gives her a profound sense of security and validation. You become her reliable, comforting backup plan, her safety net. The familiarity fix. Breakups are jarring and create a void. Watching your familiar life, your familiar face, provides her with a small, safe hit of comforting familiarity and nostalgia, without any of the real-world consequences or emotional investment of actually talking to you. How to spot it? Her watching is entirely passive. She will never engage beyond a simple view or a random, low-effort like. If you were to ever reach out to her, her responses would be vague, non-committal, low effort, and she would quickly steer the conversation back to herself or shut it down if you tried to make a plan. The brutal truth. In this scenario, you are not a person to her anymore. You are a psychological utility. You are a tool she uses to regulate her own post-breakup emotions and to validate her ego. She has absolutely zero intention of coming back. She is simply using your memory, your digital ghost, to feel better about herself. You are her emotional pacifier. Reason number 2. The regret and what if audit. She's second-guessing everything. The psychology. This is the reason that gives most men a dangerous amount of hope, and sometimes it is real. In this case, she is genuinely painfully conflicted. The fantasy of her new life without you or with someone else is not matching the harsh reality. The grass was not in fact greener. She is now watching your life with a critical, almost desperate eye, conducting what I call regret audit. Her internal questions are raging. Is his life getting better without me? Does he look happier, stronger, more successful? Did I make a catastrophic, life-altering mistake by letting him go? Is the grass actually greener back where I was? She's replaying your best moments together in her mind and painfully comparing them to her current, often disappointing reality. She is battling a severe case of cognitive dissonance and buyer's remorse. How to spot it? Her watching might feel more intense, more deliberate. She might start posting nostalgia bait, songs, quotes, or photos that are clearly and specifically referencing a positive time you shared together. She might, in a moment of weakness, accidentally, like a very old photo of yours, a clear Freudian slip. These are all subconscious bids for you to notice her internal conflict. The brutal truth. Even in this scenario where her regret is genuine, her silence means she is still too uncertain, too proud, or too terrified to take the ultimate risk of reaching out and admitting her mistake. She wants you to see her audit, to see her breadcrumbs, to do the emotional heavy lifting, and to be the one to bridge the gap and absolve her of the risk and the shame of having to crawl back. She is waiting for you to make it easy for her to undo her mistake. Reason number 3, the psychological tether and option maintenance, the subtle power play, the psychology. This is the most sophisticated, most dark psychology reason of them all. It's a subtle, low-effort, high-reward power play designed to keep you emotionally invested and available. She knows with 100% certainty that you see her name in your story views. She knows you see her like. That single silent notification, Jane Doe watched your story, is not a passive act. It is a deliberate message. And the message is, I am still here. I still have access to your life, to your mind. You are still thinking about me right now because I am actively making you think about me. The power play. By staying in your digital orbit silently, she maintains what I call a psychological tether. She keeps you as a viable, warmed-up option on her roster without having to invest any real time, emotion, or effort. It masterfully prevents you from fully, cleanly moving on because there is always that tiny flicker of what if that her persistent, silent presence creates. She is keeping her foot firmly wedged in the door, just in case her primary options, her current life, don't pan out. How to spot it. This is often the case when a woman is a monkey brancher by nature or someone who fears being alone. She might be with someone new or actively dating, but she is still keeping meticulous tabs on you. Her watching is a strategic act of option maintenance to ensure her backup plan, you, remains emotionally engaged and available. The brutal truth. Her silent watching is a strategic, albeit sometimes subconscious, act of emotional and psychological resource management. She is not invested in you, she is invested in the option of you. You are a valuable stock she is keeping in her emotional portfolio, hoping it might go up in value or that she might need to liquidate it later. But she is unwilling to invest any more of her own capital into it right now. So you've analyzed the reasons. You understand the game. What is your ultimate power move? It is the same devastatingly effective move, regardless of her motive. It's what I call the black hole method. You give her absolutely nothing to observe. You do not react. You do not reach out to her for closure. You do not block her, which is a powerful emotional reaction in itself. You do not view her stories back in a pathetic attempt at tit for tat. Instead, you become a psychological black hole of authentic indifference to her observation. You pour all of that wasted mental and emotional energy you're spending on deciphering her pathetic signals directly back into your own life. You level up so hard, so relentlessly, in the gym, in your career, in your social life, in your own mission, that your life becomes a supernova of value and success. Your genuine silence, your authentic indifference to her presence in your story views, and your visible, undeniable success and happiness is the only thing that can truly disrupt her pattern. It makes her ego check completely unsatisfying. It amplifies her regret audit to an almost unbearable degree, and it decisively, powerfully cuts the psychological tether. Your lack of reaction becomes your ultimate, most powerful reaction. It is how you reclaim your power, your peace, and your future. She's watching you, but staying silent because of one of three core reasons. 1, crippling fear and profound insecurity. She's paralyzed and needs your lead, a lead you are no longer obligated to give. 2, strategic validation and ego maintenance. She's using you for an ego boost with no real intention. 3, the psychological tether and option maintenance. She's keeping you on the bench as a backup plan. This psychological battlefield is a real and frustrating part of modern dating. In the comments section below, share your experience, your hard-won wisdom. What is the #1 most blatant ghost-orbiting sign you have ever seen from an ex or a former interest that told you she had no intention of landing? Let's build a powerful field guide for the brotherhood to protect good men from time wasters and emotional vampires. Your story could be the wake-up call someone else needs. If this video just solved a massive, frustrating mystery for you, or could provide profound clarity for a friend who is currently stuck in this cycle of confusion, share it. Let's end the confusion. Let's empower more men to reclaim their focus and their power. For more unfiltered, potent truths about the often hidden realities of female psychology, the intricate dynamics of dating, and how to reclaim your power as a man, make sure you have absolutely obliterated that subscribe button and have activated all notifications. Your focus determines your reality. Go out there and focus on yourself. That is the ultimate win.